Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Grasso and Joanne Wood. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so we've got a big fight coming up here in the co-main event, Grasso versus Joanne Wood. This is what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm a fan of both women. I think this is going to be a really entertaining fight. Right? Both of them are strikers. Both of them like to show up. Both of them like to bring it. Kind of a good recipe to make sure that it's going to be a fan favorite, right? Kind of set the stage going into the main event, so to speak. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Grasso, boxing-based style, really good with her hands. She likes to come out there. The thing that I like most about her is how patient she is. She's very composed. She's very calm. She carries a lot of poise when she steps into the octagon. She's had 2 fights at this new weight class now. I think she looked good at both of them. She's seen her first one against Kim. Early in that fight, she was getting caught with some shots. Early in that fight, she was getting caught with some counters. But she was able to kind of turn that around. She was able to start landing some good shots of her own. She was able to land some good right hands. She was able to land some good hooks. She was eventually able to come out with the victory there. Then she steps out in her last fight against Maycee Barber. And I was really impressed in that one, right? Because that, I think, was the true test for whether or not she was going to be able to make it at this new weight class, in this new division. Because everybody knows she's got crisp hands. Everybody knows she's got sharp boxing and combinations, and she's got timing. You know, she can close the distance and land right hands and this and that. But what was she going to be able to do in the clinch? What was she going to be able to do when somebody who was natural for the weight class got her down or tried to muscle her around, got some underhooks and tried to do things? And that's really what we saw with Maycee Barber, because Maycee Barber is big for the division. She's not just natural for the division. She's big for the division. She's strong. They had a lot of time in the clinch. Grasso looked good, man. She was able to handle herself well. She was able to get good knees off. She was able to land some elbows here and there. She was able to work an underhook, spin Barber around, get her back against the cage. Overall, she looked very good in that fight, coming out with the victory. Once again, we saw the way that she's able to land her combinations and get her shots off, right? The way she's able to close the distance. Now, standing across from her, Joanne Wood. Now, she also has a striking-based style, but you can tell that it's completely different, right? She uses her kicks so much more. It's a Muay Thai-based style. Her hands they're not nearly as fast. They're not nearly as crisp. They're very good, don't get me wrong, very good. But the difference is in her kicks. She uses a lot of push kicks. She uses a lot of those teeps up the middle. She'll throw kicks to the body. She wants to keep the fight at a kicking distance. Anytime you see somebody come forward and trying to apply pressure on her, she's always trying to back them off with those kicks. That's where she's always trying to keep her distance and trying to keep the fight at. And when she has it out there, she does really good. When she's got the fight at that distance, she's able to really kind of get a rhythm and start to get her shots off and start to look good and shine. Now, the problem is you back her up, right? We saw in that last fight with Santos, if you were able to get inside, you're able to be aggressive. She kind of just couldn't match that intensity, right? She was able to get in there. She was able to land some good, hard shots. She backed her up and then eventually she got the submission victory, but it was because of the strikes, right? That's the reason that she was able to go out there and get her in that position, dropped her, and then ended up taking her back. That's what's most intriguing, because if this fight is really going to be all about distance, and that distance is really going to be all about how Grasso handles it, right? Because if she has to get closer than Wood wants to keep it. Joanne Wood wants to keep this at a kicking distance. Grasso does not want to keep it at a kicking distance. She doesn't use her kicks the same way. She'll throw some low kicks, go to the calf, go to the thigh with them, but she doesn't really go up the middle with teeps. She's already the shorter fighter with not as long of a reach. So she's going to need to get inside. She wants to use her hands, which naturally your arms are going to be shorter than your legs anyway. So it's all on her about how she handles it. If she comes forward and she's aggressive and she really wants to press the issue, work behind that right hand, come in and try to land good shots, that's going to create the issue then for JoJo Wood, right? Because then she's going to need to, what's she going to do? Is she going to up her work rate, use really good footwork and try to stay on the outside, working those teeps and everything? Or is she going to allow herself to be backed up? Is she going to say, I can't keep this fight at a kicking range, Grasso's too aggressive, we're going to make this at a punching range, and then go from there? I think that's really what we're talking about. Because if this stays on the outside for 3 rounds at a kicking range, Wood comes away with the victory. If Grasso presses the issue and gets aggressive in the same way that we saw Santos do in her fight against Wood's last fight, Grasso wins this. I don't think she's got quite the power or the explosiveness that you saw from Santos, so I don't think you would see a stoppage victory, particularly one early on, but I think she'd be able to win on points. And ultimately, that's why I'm going to go with her. I think she's the younger fighter. I think she's going to realize what exactly it is that she needs to do, and that she's going to need to be more aggressive, and that she's going to need to come forward. She can get caught with some counters coming in, particularly some left hooks here and there. We saw that. But at the end of the day, I think she's got what it takes. I think it was a growing opportunity in that last fight with Macy Barber. That was somebody that she fought who was explosive and athletic, and she was able to figure out a way to get her shots off and get the victory. And I think that's the same thing that we're going to see here. So I'm taking Alexa Grasso in this one. I think she'll come out with a decision victory. Let me know what you guys think. Am I overlooking exactly what it is that JoJo Wood brings to the table? Or do you think Grasso is going to be able to walk away with it too?